right, I will call the Town of Parker Parks and Recreation Committee meeting to order at 4 p.m. If we could silence all our electronic devices and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Miss Amy with the roll call.
Chairman Aspa, absent. Vice Chair Beavers.
Here.
Member Baldenegro.
Here.
Member Page.
Here.
Member Rodriguez.
Here.
Member Hartless.
Here.
No call to public.
Perfect. All right, Steve with our director, our reports and update.
Good afternoon, everybody. Updates on the parks. Staff finished the installation of the benches for field number 2 at City Park, so that's completed. Also taking place over there is the replacement of the light poles. So that work is underway. All of the bases have been set. Concrete's curing, so I think they like to wait like 2 weeks before they actually begin to set the poles themselves and the light fixtures. They still have to do all the tie-in to the electrical as well. So that project is progressing. It's actually way behind. They were supposed to start this back in January. The electrical contractor that was, grab this one. The electrical contractor that was doing the work dropped the ball. So it is what it is. Outside of that, staff is pretty much just doing routine maintenance at the parks. They're getting things prepped for the minor and majors as far as Little League, which I believe games begin next Monday, I want to say. So they'll be prepping fields. And yeah, just routine maintenance at the parks and the cemetery. Part of my director's report, there is this national fitness campaign that reached out to me to see if the town would be interested in doing this campaign. There's a 3-minute video. We don't have anything on the agenda. It's not agendized, so this is just, this would be a campaign in which the committee would run and manage. But the video explains a lot and kind of explains some stuff. The next step would be, if you guys want to do this, we would certainly arrange a time for the organizers that reached out to me regarding this program to actually have them attend one of these upcoming meetings, so they can just go over and answer any further questions if you guys want to go in this direction and want to do this. I thought it was pretty interesting because it has to do with fitness. It also has something to do with actually installing like a fitness type of system at the park. So without further ado, Miss Amy, if we could start the video. There it is.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness.
From college campuses to city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Menadget, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better than the last. Now more than ever before, it is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Michiganders, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness court was such an attraction to us. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for free. Truly, anyone can use it, no matter what your age is, no matter what your physical fitness level is, no matter what your skills are. It is very adaptable.
Thousands of certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. New programs are bringing students outdoors across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Simply scan the new digital wall with your phone to access a library of free workouts designed to optimize your experience on the fitness court. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we are thrilled to introduce Fitness Court Public Art. Cities have the opportunity to select a local artist to design their fitness court using the power of the arts and fitness outdoors in iconic public spaces. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness court. We're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that, from a city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tied around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. And this partnership really is an opportunity for us to bring scalable, free health and wellness opportunities to our community. So I would actually invite cities and organizations, big and small, to explore the opportunity to invest in fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We're committed to raise $150 million to bring the campaign to 1,000 cities and schools, building the largest fitness movement in the world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness free.
That's it. So, if you're interested, we can certainly put it on the agenda to have discussion at the next meeting. And that's the end of my report.
I have a quick question, or feed off of, you said the field prep for city fields. Are you going, can you do something about the holes and stuff? Are you gonna like prep all of the field, like all of that area? Because I know there's lots of gopher holes and potholes.
Let staff know they should obviously be filling holes on a routine basis, a regular basis, when they go out there and actually prep the fields.
Yeah, okay.
So I will
You're talking about the outfield, right?
yeah,
mention that to them.
yeah, it's in the outfield, obviously not in baselines and stuff like that, but it does get kind of.
Any one field worse than another, or just?
Field 3, like in between field 3 and field 2, like the
Okay.
outfield of field
Sure.
3 and field 2 right there,
Mhm.
because I would play outfield. 'Cause I'm so good at softball. That was a,
It's kind of like in every, like, once it gets a certain length, you know, like, once you're over that second baseline a few feet, then there's
stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't take very long to just kind of, and you can see them. So, I just would hate for a kid to sprain an ankle because they're running out there and fall into a hole or something.
Okay.
That fitness video, do we have an idea of where we would put it?
So is it
We've
something
got
that would go?
plenty of locations to put it, obviously,
Silence your
outside of this
electronic
park,
devices
which
during
has
the meeting.
got everything we could possibly handle here. So between Western Park and, of course, City Park.
So would that be able to go in City Park even though with the least, that whole?
Absolutely, yeah. We could throw this into our feasibility study
That's kind of what I
as,
was thinking.
would be
something to
nice.
do, but
Yeah.
But then we could also put it in Western Park also to have something on that side, since we're already gonna vamp this side. We're like revamping that whole city park area.
I know that that's what Jennifer's been wanting to for a long time.
Western Park, we
Uh,
talked about that walking trail over there. We talked about.
Yeah, that's right in the center of town. So we just have to basically say, yes, we want to discuss it more and to put it onto the next agenda?
I say yes.
Yeah.
I say, yeah.
And Steve, the goal of that is to get it free.
Well, the ultimate goal is obviously to highlight fitness and to give a space.
Correct.
But yes, this fitness campaign essentially helps, towns and municipalities finance the actual, system and putting it in.
So there could be a
installing.
financial,
And then it's an ongoing program to maintain. And, they mentioned training and certifying people to run the program for the municipalities. So that's what they do. Like I said, this is something the committee would then have to run and have somebody certified to run the program. But obviously included in that, yes, is the actual installation of the fitness.
right, so it's not a set it and forget it type of,
Correct. Correct.
Well, I mean, it can't hurt to get more information.
okay.
So yes, we can put it on the next month's agenda. I can reach out to those who reached out to me
Mhm.
regarding the campaign and see if they can zoom in for this meeting, and you guys can,
Find
shoot
more
questions at them and ask everything that you guys want to ask.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else for Steve? All right. Steve, quick question. I don't know if we want to talk about it when we talk about the leasing of the park space. Being that the railroad's taking that space back, are we losing that park there too, technically?
I honestly don't know.
Don't even know. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
They haven't actually formally reached out to the town of Parker. I think they've just reached out to Miss Melissa.
Gotcha.
So, yes, the town has the parking lot that we built and that park. So
Right.
if they are taking the property, we haven't been notified.
Okay.
So,
And Jennifer wanted me to bring up that the train car belongs to the town of Parker.
yes.
And she said she would like to make a request that it get moved, and that we don't let them take the train car back.
Interesting.
I did ask them that when they
Oh.
they talked to us.
Okay.
And they said they had no intention of moving it, and they acknowledged that it was the town of Parker property. They said if they needed to, they would do a fence around it. So it's still accessible from the road, but not going on to like where their railroads are if needed.
But we could move it.
I mean, I'm sure you can.
That's what Jennifer was asking.
I don't know what's in that. I just
Yeah.
know, as of right now, they don't plan on doing anything with the railroad car.
Car. Okay.
That would be something that we would have to discuss as far as moving that, relocating, where do you put it?
Western Park.
That won't happen.
I'm just
sure
repeating
that
what
won't
I-
happen.
Not the free-for-all nowadays.
No, Western Park.
It's something that we would obviously need to have them, like she said, they have to reach out to us if their
That's the
plans are
intention.
to take that
Yeah.
whole area.
So the town built that parking lot next to the park?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So the town built the parking lot
And the park.
and that park next to the area, and it wasn't even your guys' land?
So
it's just
that's
like
all railroad right-of-way all the way up to the street. So they own the right-of-way, so the town of Parker essentially leases, not leases, but actually is permitted by the railroad to build those things, to have that car there, to have the chamber building, same thing. So that's how right-of-way property works. So we were given permission at some point, it was before my time, obviously, to build that parking lot and to then build Main Street Park, to house the rail car there. And that's all through the railroad's approval to do so.
Gotcha. Okay.
But again, it was still built And we didn't, the town
Well,
did
it's
it.
just like the
Just like
city
City
fields.
Park.
Same concept.
It was a whole grant. that we went through for all of that, whole renovation of that Main Street.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Old business, Easter extravaganza.
It went well. There was a lot, a lot of attendees.
Very busy.
We had our pop-up there, which was nice. We had a couple games, and then we also had a box for empty eggs. So if kids didn't want to keep their eggs, they could take everything that was on the inside and bring us the empty ones. We took that over to the chamber, and they are going to fill our eggs next year.
Wow.
So if anybody wants, you know, instead of asking for egg donations, we can ask for candy donations. We actually, there was quite a bit of eggs.
I was surprised how many people brought their empty eggs to
Yeah.
us, so.
Yeah, and it was kind of a last minute thing that we were like, oh, hey, bring your eggs, and there was a lot of people that brought them.
Great idea.
There was a few times people were asking Courtney and Zach where to register, or asking people around, like, where do we register? But we don't do registration, but I think maybe next year we should, just for a numbers idea of how many people actually participate. And also, we were supposed to do a hoop shootout, and I had 6 basketballs out there, and as I was like trying to get it organized, the kids were like, nah, we don't want to do this. So I just let them have the basketballs and let them play around. And so I have 3 gift certificates from La Piazza and 3 like gift cards from Cool Cravings that I was going to give away at the hoop shootout. And if we would have had registration, we could have given those out instead. So I still have those. Maybe we could do like a back to school bash giveaway or something with them. But yeah, I think next year maybe do like a registration. Courtney said that they do for their PACE program an online registration, so they have a table for day of and online, and she says it runs really smooth. So I think if we do a registration, maybe pick her brain on how to make it run real smooth. So
How did it work with extra space?
extra space
Extra
was great.
space was really good. I think, so, okay, so here's then the bad things. So Kaylee gave you all the good things, I'll give you all the bad things. I think the extra space was really well, but I think we need to put maybe like caution tape around the whole thing, because there was a lot of kids that were still like, and I kept having to tell them, scoot back, scoot back, scoot back. You guys need to back up. And so if we had the caution tape maybe around, and then there was at one point, what group was it, the 7?
Well, you couldn't hear
Yeah, we
very
couldn't
well.
hear the speaker
And
system.
Jennifer was really trying to prep up the crowd to get them excited, which was a good thing. But when she was like, "How about you guys?" They all
They just took
off
off.
running for the
And she wasn't
eggs.
saying go. Courtney had just said 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and then, so they
But
just
you
took
couldn't-
off.
You couldn't hear, and Courtney and Zach recognized that, so they're going to bring their bigger speakers next year,
Gotcha.
and they're going to set up more in the center of the egg hunt, so the speakers will be more in the center, and people can hear a lot better too.
And then some of the people that donate, so this was my fault though, but some of the people that donated eggs donated golden eggs. So then the kids thought the golden eggs were like a special prize. So then they came up to me and they were like, hey, I got a golden egg. So I was like, okay, cool, here, take this prize. Well, it was the prizes for the coloring contest. And I didn't realize, so there was some miscommunications there.
Gotcha.
So I gave away some of the prizes because they had golden eggs. I thought it was something special, like, cool, it's a golden
That's
egg.
a good idea. We should do that.
We should
next
do
year.
that though.
But have
next-
prizes for the golden.
We
eggs.
have
Like,
prizes
but
for.
and like I open it and say, "Come claim your
Yeah,
prize."
you
at-
won, you've got the
Yeah.
golden egg or something, but yeah, so that was my fault. And then the only other thing I noticed, and this is a question for Steve, and I saw a lot of people, once again, running across the street because there was no parking, so lots of people, I mean, people with baby carriers running across the street to park at. So where are we at with the stoplight proposal? Did that just fall in the
Oh, the crosswalk.
The crosswalk.
crosswalk or stoplight something? Did that kind of just fall off?
No, it was provided to ADOT, so.
Okay.
Their plan or their response to us is it could be included as far as discussing that in their, the work that they were planning for the town. So I know that none of that has actually even started, so I'll follow up.
Okay.
2 things really quickly. I'm glad that they recognized the volume, because that was brought up to me. They're like, we couldn't hear anything that was happening
and DJ Z-Com is usually really, really good, but you definitely couldn't hear him from the other side of the park at all. And then the FFA kids did an amazing job. I think that was almost one of the biggest highlights of the day. They stayed super, super busy. So I don't know if maybe thank Mr. Munoz and those kids for coming, but them staying out there, and they dealt with a lot of kids, touching a lot of animals. And
There was a hand washing station, and they had pulled their trailer in front of it. So I don't know if anybody utilized it.
they were told to. I did hear them several times to go between animals to wash their hands. If they actually listened, is
Sure.
something else. But I know that they were told
It was
to.
there.
It was there. It was provided.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other feedback for extravaganza? I'm sorry I wasn't there.
One thing, Daniel, there were several kids that were visibly upset,
Okay.
just because they didn't get any eggs.
Did we run out?
Yeah, there were a few little kids. One little kid only got like 2 or 3 eggs. One thing that I saw was that instead of baskets, they give out egg cartons. And so when you fill your carton, that's your turn is over.
Can we talk to
So
Rose Acres? That'd
each
be good.
kid gets the same amount of eggs. There's no sadness, there's no tears, and it's fair and equitable for everybody. So just a suggestion
That's a
for
really
next
good
year.
idea.
That's a good idea.
Life's not fair. Okay.
Oh, and the last thing was, I know it says on the flyer, but maybe next year we need to make it bigger and bolder and brighter, that even though the event starts at 10, the Easter egg hunt doesn't start till 11, because there were a lot of people upset about that once again. And I don't know, I'm
my
like, it's on the flyer.
My first year being on the committee, it wasn't on the flyer. It was just like kind of,
Okay.
and so I had brought that up. And so we did put it on the
Yeah,
flyer,
and then
but
there still were people,
yeah.
'Cause
they
had to
got
wait.
there and they were just upset that
Yeah,
it.
they got there at 10 and they were like, why haven't we started yet? But I mean, it is on the flyer, so I think,
So that's something they could be announcing, well, Easter egg hunt happens at 11.
or, yeah,
I just like put it really big on the flyer, maybe,
have
or
our,
something.
maybe have our banner, an updated banner, too, that,
Registration at
Could
10,
have like one of the
egg
clubs
hunt
make
at
a
11.
hand sign banner, a hand banner, with like some paint.
If we had
or
to
something,
estimate how many kids,
ooh,
like over 500? Less than 500?
gonna say 600.
Okay.
I was gonna
I
say
would know.
500,
I
but I
would
wasn't
know,
sure if I
I-
was overestimating there
Like
or
if we
not.
were looking for a donation like Rose Acres or something to donate
Egg cartons.
cartons, just so we have an idea.
They don't go bad. So I would just ask for 1,000. That way we have enough
Extra.
for future years.
Get stickers, stick them on
Great
there.
advertisement.
Yeah, Town of Parker Parks and Rec event.
Yep, and then they can use the things, put their eggs in their baskets that they brought, because everybody's gonna bring their baskets anyways.
And bring us the empty eggs when you're done. Perfect.
All right. All right. Miss Kylena, this will probably be you since I've been missing in action.
I just tweaked what we had come up with.
2024 and 2025 budget for parks, cemetery, and advisory board events.
So everybody, I don't know, Laura, if you want to, will you give that to me? Sorry, my guess not.
Who's this one?
If Nora wants to look at it.
Oh, Nora.
I sent
Sorry, I
an
didn't
email.
hear.
But basically, everybody's been asking and talking about like what this, so I kind of put together, and I actually tweaked it a little bit because we had it pretty consistent for everything, but I went through every event that we do. Some of the events obviously don't need vendors. Some of the events we need less, giveaways and more supplies. Some events we need more vendors and less, here and there. And then I added the summer program to this and just gave a total projected amount, and then added the additional projects and community donations at the bottom. And it would leave us about a balance of $10 if we actually spent all of the money, which we have not done, as some of these have already happened, So, oh, and I didn't change the quarter two in the time frame, sorry. But this is something that we could, I know that they had asked that way we could take it to council as kind of like a rough draft. None of the things on here are over the 5,000 that Steve is able to sign off on, but this will still give council a little bit of an idea of what and where that money could potentially be going. So that way, if we have an expense for back to school that's, you know, $1,000, then it's kind of already budgeted for.
Perfect.
So, and again, this is just tentative. I feel like going forward, you can see on the sides, there's no money on there, but going forward, we can actually plug in what we have spent. But I know in the past, we have been very reluctant to spend any money on any of our events because we were kind of in limbo on what that looked like and how far in advance and what we needed to do. So I think going forward, now that we know, we can just kind of kick it off with the back to school bash and try to make all of our events as great as possible.
So does anybody have any questions on the budget that's there in front of you before we?
Did you email this to Steve, or do you need to forward it to council at all?
I
or-
emailed it to
I don't know
everybody
how
in
that
that email
works.
group. And like I said, this is tentative. If this is something, you know, if this looks good, I can fix the quarter 3, quarter 2, 2023. I mean, if that even matters. I mean, I don't know if council's going to be like, oh, well, you put quarter 3 instead of quarter 2, or 23 instead of 24. But that is taking into consideration all of the things that we did. And like I said, I included the summer program as well.
Any questions? Anybody think we're missing anything? We're not changing our events, our core events that we're doing? Okay,
We're adding the summer program
Correct,
back to our
correct.
core events, which.
correct.
Awesome.
Amy, do we need to vote on it to turn it into Steve? No? Okay, perfect. Okay.
Steve, I'll button it up for you and correct the 2023, 24 stuff. Sorry, I just.
Yeah, I mean,
noticed that.
everything fits within the 12,760 that we currently budget, so, I mean, I'm fine with that, and I don't see there being any issues with this. It's nice to have this budget set up like this. The only thing that's missing from here that's a potential is still the swim program. So, obviously, that's something that went on for years and years and years.
Do we still have that?
It's
Still-
not operating anymore,
Oh,
but
okay.
obviously, if that's something the committee wants to try to resurrect, obviously, they used Kofa Inn for that. Once the pool here was closed and filled up. So that's something just to think about. We don't necessarily
So
have to
did
have it on
the,
this, so.
Harvey Aquatic, what was the name of that?
Aquatic
The
Association?
Aquatic- Is that
Association.
just no longer a thing anymore since Bunny retired? Do we know if anybody
I have no
carried
idea.
on that?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So it would be something we would have to just kind of take on ourselves?
Okay.
But no, this is great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Perfect. All right, moving on. Discussion and action to approve or deny the summer recreation program coordinator and the program structure. So we do have Ms. Romo here. If you'd like to come up and tell us a little bit about what you're able to do and your interest in the program.
Sure. So just a quick introduction. My name is Erin Romo, and I've taught first grade at Blake for 20 years, pretty much my whole career. I've been with children, working as a cheer coach, a pageant director, Cub Scout leader. I have 3 kids of my own. They're getting older. I'm off on the summer. They don't need me as much. So looking for something to do. A lot of times I teach summer school, but I'm not this year. So last week I inquired about the summer rec program. And then kind of quickly changed my mind when I was like, you know, I really can't commit to 6 to 8 weeks. I thought I could get a teacher friend on board to help. She said no, and I said, okay, never mind. Bad idea. But then I got a call last night to reconsider and think this might be more flexible. So then I was like, okay, got kind of interested again, went ahead and applied late last night. So, you know, I've lived here my whole life, so I've kind of heard about this program in the years past, and, you know, I know back when I remember some older, like high school guy coach teachers doing it, and it was just kind of like an open gym style. Just come, shoot some hoops, play volleyball, we're gonna babysit you, I guess. We'll open the gym for 4 hours and come and go. And then I had somebody else I know that did it a few years prior to COVID, and I know when she took it over, They didn't want it structured like that at all. So I know she did a lot of organized games and tried to incorporate things in the community and crafts. And that's something that I would be more interested in, doing a variety of things outside and organized games and crafts. I would definitely be open to ideas. I know that I've heard ideas, and I think sometimes people have to remember that haven't worked with a bunch of kids, that sometimes things sound easier, said than done. So, like, I want to be very realistic here. But my friend that had this or did this for a few years, I don't think, I'm going to be honest here. She told me, don't do this. It ended up not being a good experience. It just got too much as far as there not being a cap on the amount of kids that came in, and, you're at the high school and there's no air. That's not going to make anybody happy to do anything for 4 hours, like sweating. But here I am, interested. I would like to make it a positive thing, and I want it to be a good experience for everybody involved. I know that the town's been trying to get it back since COVID. I know that the person that did it prior said that they would share their plans with me to go off of. And like I said, I don't have anything super specific, but I would like a mixture of outdoor activities, crafts, games, organized games, sports games, card games, board games, involving community, maybe helpers or speakers. I think kids of all age groups like to have visits from the firemen and the policemen and just learn about things like that. But I have lots of questions as well. I don't know if now is the appropriate time, but I think looking at my summer schedule, I could probably commit to 4 weeks. There is 1 week in June that I'm on the Miss Arizona State staff that I'm in Phoenix, but I am available for 3 weeks in June and a little bit of July, but I like to take a family vacation too, and I have a daughter that will do some volleyball camps that I'd like to be at, so that is why the 6 to 8 weeks wasn't going to work, but maybe 4 would. I don't know, I've heard that it's open as far as days and times, and I just don't know how much of that is true based on what I've heard, how flexible the position is.
Those 4 weeks, are they all together, or are they?
Well, the 3rd week of June is the week that I am in Phoenix.
Oh, okay. So it would be the first 3 weeks
that's-
and then, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I could do like all of June except that week, and then maybe the 1st week of July, or maybe 2 weeks in June and 2 weeks in July, however
Might be better.
the split.
Yeah, it makes it easier if
sounds
people, if it's
better.
like 2 and then 2.
Yeah.
It makes it easier for parents to.
And I did hear that it was going to be at Blake. I don't know if that's confirmed or just what you're trying
So-
for.
Update on that. Mormon Church said no. Blake Cafeteria is $60 a day for half days.
Oh, that's not
That's
bad.
not
That's
bad.
not bad.
So
And it's in her.
Well, the air definitely works. The kids are cold at lunchtime eating in there.
and you have the outdoor space.
It is a great location with the big playground.
And the
And
If
we
that
were,
would be able to
we
be
were trying to
used.
get away from the no air condition.
Yeah,
We were trying to get away from that. And Randy had offered AWC as well if we needed that too.
The only thing
But
with
I think
AWC
the-
is
Little
there's no outside.
Right, which I think Blake would be better.
Yeah.
And at $60 a day, that's,
Because what was the high school, 200, Wallace was like 200 a day?
because we were looking at maybe doing the dome, but I think they're doing their summer school
Yeah,
in
summer
there.
school's at Wallace the whole month of June.
Would you do a Monday through Friday or a Monday through Thursday?
That part wouldn't really matter, I don't think.
Because I think
I'd
we had
be-
decided to do through Thursday because a lot of people, because it is summertime, is that?
Well, there was no staff available if they needed staff. That
Staffing
was the
here,
problem.
so-
So the town's only Monday through Thursday.
Oh,
So if for
gotcha.
some reason
Nobody's
you needed
available.
staff or in a,
I thought we said Monday through Friday.
Say that again.
I thought we said Monday through
So-
Friday last meeting.
We would
we
be
were
back and
talking about
forth.
transporting kids, and if her program wouldn't include transporting kids anywhere, then I don't see why Monday through Friday wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That was the main concern, was having staff available to move
Mm-hmm.
kids if you wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
Previous times they'd taken them to movies or the aquatic center or
You
things
can't
like
take field trips on Fridays. Okay.
But if everything was at Blake, it would
Then
make it.
wouldn't be that big of a deal to be, and it's, if it's done by, so what we were, I mean, same with, I've got the kids, drop off is so much easier if we did like an 8 to noon.
Mhm.
Because parents are going to work, they can drop their kids off and go to work and then not have to worry until lunch or getting somebody. Whereas if it started at noon and it went till 4, it kind of
Right.
made it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I know the
So-
previous person would do it the afternoon because she taught summer school in the morning. But I'm not teaching summer school. That's why I have this interest for something to do. But yeah, I had questions about definitely like what your guys' expectation is, what you would like to see happen at it. Just because I don't know how many of you were on the committee when it was ran in years past. And I'm interested in what you're thinking about, like a cap of numbers and, the age group. Because I feel like it's too young, then you're kind of babysitting. If it's too old, you can run into, some behavior issues.
I know at one point we said 40 to 40 students.
And then we had also, we're going to reach out to what's the acronym?
I don't remember.
The career development.
Yeah, the career development, because they offer, in years in the past, I wasn't on the board, but they had mentioned in years in the past that they had provided people to help the program, help with the program.
It's like college
I'm on top of that.
students
And they
home for the
volunteer?
summer, yeah.
Mhm.
And they get, well, they don't volunteer, they get paid through
that, okay.
that program,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you
Okay.
would have people, but we would absolutely, depending on how many people we had to help you, we would have a cap. Like, it's not going to
Okay.
be drop off 150 kids. and
Yeah,
have-
yeah, in the past, I think some of the bad things that I heard was that they could have around 75 at one time with one person, and that's just not even safe.
No,
So-
no.
There was, the person running allowed those people to.
Okay,
So-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
that
if
was-
you, I guess what are you comfortable with
Right.
managing? If you was by yourself,
I mean, throwing out the number 40 sounds doable.
And
there's
it's usually first grade through fifth grade.
Yeah, we did not, and it's going into first
Fourth?
and, no, I think,
do we do fourth grade or
no, it was
fifth?
fifth because sixth grade is where they start getting the
Junior
10, that's when 10 and that's when pace and everything.
So we had discussed first through fifth grade, but Jen told me yesterday first through fourth grade.
Yeah, so she told me on the phone, that's why I was remembering it.
Like from fifth grade on, they can go to PACE.
Can they though?
They said PACE was mainly for 10
years-
10 and up.
10 and older.
And what's that?
Well, my son is
Into fifth?
10 and he's in 4th grade right now.
Going into fifth, right? So
Right.
Xander, so.
So that's, yeah, parents are going to definitely want to know, well, does that mean going into or just finish that grade? On the start?
Count to- Yeah, so it's definitely
and the
going
end
into
grade.
first. We're not gonna do any kindergartners.
Like 6 to 10?
Why
Or
don't
we
we just say
could
age?
just do an age group.
Just say
Or
age.
6 to 9, because 10-year-olds can go to PACE.
Yeah, I think
And
6
that's
to
kind of what we
9-year-olds
we
would
were
be
looking
fair.
for that
Say an
program that's
age,
gonna-
not grade. Say an age, 6 to 9.
Yeah. If I were to do this though, with my son being 10, I mean, I would want him to be able to possibly participate. So I don't know if
I
you'd
think
want to
10
extend it a
too.
year or if he would just be welcome because
Yeah, no,
I'm there.
it's-
6.
I think 6 to 10 because 10, although they're allowed to go to PACE, that's kind of saying
And
like,
it's-
since you can go there, you can't come here.
And also, a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
parents aren't gonna feel comfortable just dropping their kids off at PACE.
Right.
Or walking to PACE. Not that it's not a great program, but there are so many older kids that,
Yeah, that's true.
But I think
And
40 is
they-
doable. That's like, I mean, right now our class sizes are about 20. So it's like
So is that 40 just for
two
yourself
classes.
or 40 with the potential helpers?
either, I think.
Either, okay. Still 40 is still good,
a
because
good
then
amount.
that's more interaction with them if there's errand
too many.
And I think definitely pre-registration for those 40. And once you hit 40, there might be a wait list in case there's a drop, but not over 40. Is my suggestion.
One of the things that Jen mentioned yesterday when we spoke was, she she had mentioned the constraints on the timelines, possibly registering for the first 2 weeks and then for the next 2 weeks, but not the same people.
Oh,
that
so it
would
would
be
give,
nice. So that you
Give
could
everybody
give
the
a little variety,
opportunity.
That's a good
parents
idea.
At least get a break.
So like first session, second session or
Yeah.
something.
And then you might know something worked really, really well that you want to do again, and something didn't really work those 2 weeks that you didn't want to do the next 2 weeks.
That's a good idea.
That's a
planning
good idea.
activities for a couple weeks and then repeat them
You could, yeah.
if it works.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Or if it didn't work,
yeah,
pick
otherwise
something
it's 4
else.
weeks of different things if it's the same group.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So the
So
weeks would
first
be.
2 weeks of June?
And the
And then the
and second 2 weeks in
second
July,
2
or
weeks
first
of
2 weeks in
July.
July is okay?
Not, I wouldn't do the first week of July since that's 4th of July weekend and we were already talking about,
Yeah.
people being out of town.
I would say July 8th through the 12th and July 15th through the 19th.
And then that gives you
If
your week.
that's doable. Erin?
I'm
Well, do we
not,
ha- Are you guys setting the dates in stone or is this
No.
tentatively?
Oh, this is just tentatively.
Okay.
As long as I feel like the 2 weeks are together, 2 weeks and 2 weeks where they are at, I feel like if she has a vacation to be planned, we could work around that.
Right.
because- Just to give you, while everybody's talking about that, like, you had mentioned most of the stuff that we had talked about as a board, you know, outdoor activities, I mean, the basketball hoop's right there. There's grass, you could do like outdoor stuff, arts and crafts. Honestly, you're a teacher, you would have way better ideas than we would. But
Chris is
just
my
something to
friend.
keep the kids busy, that they're not sitting there on their phones. You know, I think that might be something that we need to address as well. Maybe have,
This isn't, it always say like this isn't a daycare.
yeah,
You're not
it's
just
not a daycare,
dropping your
but I'm talking
kid.
about the kids that bring their phones.
Yeah.
Like,
How many kids that age have phones?
a lot.
Really?
Yeah, so that might be something too that we need to discuss when it gets down to the
like, are they
nitty-gritty.
allowed to
Are
just
they
sit there
allowed
and
to-
do that?
Or,
the whole
you know, they
time?
can come in with their phones, they can have a designated place for their phones that will be, you know, but
Yeah, but are we,
I think
are
that's
we
getting-
setting that boundary or is she?
Yeah,
gonna
I was
set
gonna
that
say, I
boundary
think that's
because
getting
she's
too
gonna-
far
Erin's
into it.
gonna
I
be
think
the
it-
teacher
yes,
for the.
no, but if you have a kid, like I've just noticed, because I do have kids that age, that one of them has a phone. The other day I saw one of my kids watching a video on somebody else's kid's phone that was completely inappropriate. And so we don't want to get into that as well.
I think right now though, in
Well, yeah,
this
yeah.
like right now in this
That-
meeting though, I think that's
Down,
kind of
down
near
the road.
or there.
Like,
It's
obviously, you're gonna be like,
just-
no electronics right now, so we're doing this activity,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but I mean,
Right.
we can't really.
Something else I thought of is, are the kids allowed to, like liability speaking, are they allowed to come and go? Or once they're there, they need to stay until it's over, so their
They need to
parents know where
stay.
they're at? If a kid tries to,
Yeah, like
And
once you're in,
I
you're
mean,
in.
unless their parent like shows up and is like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna take them, yeah.
because yeah, kids that come walking, just be like,
I want to go home now.
I'm done, yeah, and then
Or I don't
try to
like this
leave and take off
activity, I'm
walking,
going
yeah.
home now.
No, yeah, I would say they'd have to stay there.
I would imagine that we would have some sort of application that would.
With
like a
rules.
School you know.
Maybe.
like,
When I would drop Julian off, there was like a sign-in sheet, like you would sign them in. I remember at one point there was a sign-in, you sign them in and then you sign them out. That's how I remember
I
it
think
being.
that should be that way. And then if they are kids that walk home, say there's a kid that lives across the street or something, it needs to definitely be on the application, like this kid can
Just
walk.
like summer school.
Yeah, they
Will
put their
transportation
transportation.
be provided or will the kid be walking home? Mhm.
So the 2 weeks at together is doable for you?
Yes, I believe so. So you're looking at the first 2 weeks of June,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Yes, that for sure. And then July, you said the week of the 8th and the 15th.
If,
Well, 2
or you could do
consecutive
the
weeks for you,
week of the
whichever.
15th and the week of the 22nd as well.
We were just
Um,
asking for 2 consecutive weeks each time.
Yeah, I don't want to go past the week of the 15th in July just because teachers are always back
Oh, okay.
getting their room ready. And we start to have meetings and things like that.
I mean, if you want to do the week, July 1st, I just don't know how well the attendance will be for you.
I think those July weeks would be okay because I'm just trying to go through things that I know that are already planned in my head. My calendar only goes till June. It's a teacher school calendar. But yeah, because just talking out loud, I think the week of the 15th, my daughter's at a volleyball camp in Flagstaff anyway, so it's not like we're gonna take off and go just do something without her. So, and we don't have plans the week of the 8th.
I mean, you could also do June 24th and July 1st weeks too. So it's like 2 weeks,
A week off and
week
then 2
off
weeks.
and then 2 weeks. It's
that's
honestly
true.
whatever is up to you.
I think either of those would probably be doable.
I think let's do this.
Did you have any other questions for us?
I'm just looking at my little sticky note here. I think the only other thing I have written down, and you probably can't give me an answer on this today, but if I were to do it, I don't know if the advertised salary was for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and now we're talking 4 weeks, so what that would look like as well, just.
Correct, so it would be cutting
Okay.
it in half.
Mhm.
So we need to discuss
Yeah.
salary.
Yep.
But
then-
this
but
is an
the-
action
that-
item,
that
so we,
fits in, what we're doing here fits in with the facility expense that I had budgeted for.
And within that salary too, wasn't it like an hour of prep
There was
time?
prep time. Part of that would include, I think it was, because PACE is doing meetings. Somebody remind me of that, the meetings that PACE was going to be doing.
Can't remember
So we
when
were
that
going to ask
was.
whoever was going to do this to go to that PACE meeting, because that's where they're going to do the calendar of events that they
They're
do.
not doing it anymore. We just found out at Pace Coalition today. They just gave out forms for you to fill out of what you're doing for the summer.
Oh, okay. So no more meeting? Okay, never mind.
Unless-
But there was some pay and time allotted to prepare, obviously, to set your curriculum and all of that. So it was like a half an hour before and like an hour a day too, like a half hour before for setup
Mhm.
and then a half hour after for, the time frame. But yeah, we
That
can
you're
get-
saying is not in the advertised salary?
Well, no, it
or-
was, but that's
Okay.
what I'm saying, but that was still for the 8 weeks.
Right.
So we will just deduct the 4 weeks
So-
and
so because this is an action item, we probably need to make sure that make a decision now before we. So, just so everybody's aware, at the current amount of hours divided by the salary that was advertised, if you kept the same salary, it's about $43.75 an hour, not including the prep time. So I don't know if that matters if we're doing it based on that,
so,
based on what the budget says and the amount of hours in the program.
yeah. With the old way or the new way?
With the current new way of 4-week program.
Yeah, so what was it the old way, the hourly? 22.50, that's what I thought it was, something around there.
So if you take the total amount. Maybe you would just divide it in half. 2186. So, yeah, it drastically changes that. So we need to make sure it fits within your willingness to work for that. So we need to consider that.
That pay is not, I'm sorry, that pay is,
Yeah, well, and that's, it's a lot of work.
yeah. It's not a justifiable pay for all that work. So definitely conversation needs to happen.
So,
Would it be possible to have a special meeting to discuss this?
well, our action item is to approve the coordinator, which as of right now, and the program structure. So we need to decide that because right now, Ms. Romo's the only qualified
Can we make,
candidate that I'm aware of.
can we make a motion to approve the coordinator and the structure pending on pay?
And I mean, she can deny it. I mean, we're approving her, that doesn't necessarily mean she's gonna take the job. So we can approve
Right.
it as a board and then come back to her with all of the
Nitty gritty.
nitty-gritty fine print, and then
Right.
at that point, she can say yes or no. Right?
Well, how do I, not to offend you in any way.
that's fine.
Or ask a question, but an hourly rate for a teacher right now, what would a range be that makes it worth their while to work?
Yes.
Or what
good-
is summer
good
school?
I really don't know if I could answer that on the spot.
No,
Sorry.
that's fine. I mean,
I've never done the math.
What
Yeah, that's fine.
what would your number be I guess.
That's-
Is that kind of what you're asking?
No,
Do summer
no.
school teachers get paid their regular salary, or do they
Yeah.
get paid a different?
They get paid excellent pay. I could,
Oh,
Yeah.
they get paid
Summer
better
s-
than,
then their
the
year.
regular teachers do.
I think I have it on my email somewhere that I could, after this, or by tomorrow, let you guys know what that is,
No,
but.
so all I'm saying is, guys, is because we're setting the structure of this program, I just want to make sure going forward that it doesn't appear that we gave somebody a 8-week salary for 4 weeks, unless we're agreeing that this program is worth what we're investing in it on a 4-week basis. That's what I just
And
want to make sure of.
honestly, I kind of like the two different, that actually
really
makes
do.
a lot of sense.
So I need input. We're voting on it. So
Gloria, you go.
Pay her the money. I
Okay.
mean, it's worth it, you know, like the.
I have no input.
No,
I know, I don't either.
I mean, I agree because I know that personally, I wouldn't deal with 40 kids for that amount.
True.
I mean,
Good point.
I mean, and I'm just being honest, you know,
Mhm.
as a mom, but I'm not a teacher also. So I think that that's why it's going to take a special person. And even next year and the year after, if it's successful, then the more kids we get, then hopefully we can make it a bigger program and get more volunteers and get it. But if this is what we need to do.
We
to
haven't
start
gotten
the
any
program,
other applicants.
And if this is what we need to do. to
Aaron's
start
our
the
only
program-
applicant, so.
So we have got applicants, but they're not qualified and they're not from here and they don't have experience with kids and a lot of things that
Looking at
were.
the qualifications, we're looking.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of those big qualifications, Ms. Romo, I'm assuming has a fingerprint clearance
Mhm.
card being a teacher. That was a huge,
I think
one of those things that takes too much time. We wouldn't.
Even get it back,
somebody
correct.
Today, we still wouldn't get their fingerprint.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing you have to consider is that if the program does grow and you need additional staff, we would then, based on what we're deciding today, have to pay another qualified person.
But that would be something, if it's a thing and we've got records and say this is something we could go to council and be like, look, this program was amazing and we did it for 4 weeks. Now we want to do it for 8, so we need more money.
Yeah.
And I feel like if this is a big program that we really want to bring back, then we have to do what we can to make it as good as possible. That's my opinion. Kaylee,
I'm gonna go with Gloria. I'm siding with you.
Pay her the money.
And this position is treated as like a 1099. Gotcha, okay. No withholdings, just 1099, okay.
I changed my answer. I agree with Gloria as well.
Okay, so.
Do you want me to make a motion?
I was just gonna say that too.
Go for it, Kaylee.
So, yeah.
Wait, go ahead.
So just so you, before you make your motion, we're making a motion for the structure and for the coordinator, just.
Okay. I move to approve summer recreation program coordinator and program structure. And make a motion
I'll second.
as advertised.
You have to actually say the person as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I move to approve Aaron Romo as the summer recreation program coordinator and the program structure with the salary of 35
That was advertised, yeah.
Is that-
as advertised. That's what I'm gonna say, because I don't know.
For the job that she was applied for, basically.
I second.
A third. Not that I need.
There's no third. We vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed?
Do you want the gavel?
Okay. Okay.
I'm just confused as to what the pay is. Are we doing?
Advertised.
No.
As advertised.
What was
Voted for
advertised?
the average.
The full salary for 4 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Ms. Romo, if you can, our next meeting is set for, do we know? Is it?
No, it's not, sorry, that's
Okay. May 14th?
May 14th.
So if you would be willing to kind of come back to us and give us an update of kind of, hey, this is what I think we're going to put together. This is what the 2 weeks are going to look like. And then if we have any additional questions, we can ask you then. And so,
Okay, that sounds good.
okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Discussion and action to approve or deny recommendation to the town council regarding possible lease of park space to the Parker Regional Chamber of Commerce and Tourism for a new building. So to start with you, Steve, or to start with?
So, thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
This was added to the agenda at the request of Mayor Hartless.
Okay.
As you know, Melissa's been notified that her building is no longer going to be available for her lease. So one of the solutions that was brought up during our council meeting last Tuesday was the possibility of using the corner of the park, Western Park, over by the USA Gas side where that big tree is, and that saguaro that I think's on its last little leg. That utilizing that corner for building a new Chamber of Commerce building. So that's what this item is.
That's kind of where we're at. Okay. So I'm sure you can fill us in more.
So they informed us, we signed a contract in '99. However, I've been told that the chamber has had that land since at least '73. That's the earliest I can track back. It was a shed, and then it was a double wide, and then in '99 they decided they were going to build a stick built. So they wanted a hard written lease at that time. So it was a 10-year lease, and it's just been renewed month after month after month since that point. So the building is 2001 is when it was finalized. We own the building, so we do all repairs, all maintenance and everything. They came back and informed us that they're doing a feasibility study. They want to expand the railroad, and the feasibility study will take 2 months. And you know as well as I do that even after the feasibility study, they're not going to start the very next day. I have looked at other places. Per our contract, they only have to give us 90 days, but they did say they would work with us because we've been there longer than them. The issue is, I could tell you when they left, I said, so don't do any upgrades, and they told me no. And last Thursday, they had 40 people measuring the chamber. So that tells you it's a done deal. It's going to happen. So I have looked around. I've supplied a list of many places, trying to eliminate some of the what about this place, what about that place. So we are a nonprofit. We can't afford what a lot of people are asking for monthly rates, and we cannot approve what they're asking for sales price. I can tell you, I just got called back from a bank, and because we are a nonprofit, we're not anywhere near those than what we can do. So that corner is not generally used for a lot of events. Even this last weekend, that corner was not used. It's not used for the Easter. It's not used for the local bazaars. It's a great location traffic-wise. I could tell you, like, one of the places that I got on their locations is the Ocotillo and 16th Street, I think, the old ambulance. Do you really want, one, it's not visible, but do you really want snowbirds and all that driving through all the residential to get there? So it does have to be somewhere visible to guide. I thought there was some great places on there that would be amazing. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work in our budget.
Right now on a lease.
On my lease right now? Yeah. Remember, it was
Monthly.
signed in '99. $423. Yes, but we
Okay.
do all maintenance. So we just did the floors. We just put in AC units. January, we just did landscaping. The town helped us with the ADA compliant parking structure and all of that. So it's been our building that we've just done.
So what corner are you talking about?
The
one right
corner where
next to
everyone
USA
hangs the
Gas?
banners.
Okay, not the dirt.
No.
Okay, that's why I was just confused.
And when you say that,
I mean, either or, it's up to really your guys' suggestion. That's just one of them that has come up. And what the chamber can do is, one, we will have cameras there so we can help monitor the park as well too. I know there's been issues in that bathroom, so technically they can use the chamber bathroom. That bathroom can be locked when we're there. so they can come in and use the chamber bathroom to try to eliminate some of the issues that they're having in the bathroom as well. We also talked about doing a covered with some more picnic benches and stuff like that for park shade and stuff too.
I know we've talked in the past about Jennifer's like, go and look around and kind of see what we want to put. You know, we talked about the softball field and yada, yada. And we were all kind of like, no against like any kind of building or ramadas because we didn't want to put anything else up at that location. So.
Question. So what, with the fact that, you know, you can't afford to buy, so what would be the plan for a structure to be there? Where does that come from?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. So I've gotten quotes on building a metal building.
Okay.
They're still 400,000 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Building a stick built or even a modular, and banks won't loan on a modular.
Correct.
So even if I get a land and try to put a modular, I can't get a loan on that either.
Okay.
I've
Says
looked
you're
at
a
leasing,
nonprofit?
I've looked at monthly leasing with a long term, but a lot of them are still asking for going monthly rate prices that the chamber can't afford.
So are we looking for the town to build the structure and you lease it, or?
No, I think if the town allows, I can't buy the property.
Right.
So being in a past banking world, if you buy the property, they won't fund the modular till the modular's on there. The modular won't release the place until they get paid.
Mhm.
And then you have that big expense anyways. But I've already talked to two banks and they won't do modulars regardless. So that's the whole thing. So if we can get a low lease, the chamber would have some money to buy the modular up front and put it on there because we wouldn't have to be funding a purchase of property, if that makes sense.
So you're just looking for the lease, not anything to build or anything like
Correct.
that?
The chamber would
That's
handle
great.
that.
Would you be open, because like we have had that brought to us before about, you know, taking up that big, front park, would that back dirt?
So the thing you have to consider is, you know, what does the chamber do, and what do they bring to our town? And from I would say from a business standpoint, that location makes ideal sense. It has open to the public. It's right there on the corner. You're gonna see it. It's all of those things. So
Just grass the rest of that down there?
I
'Cause it's
mean-
like, it's not really gonna take away, I mean.
I personally am not a fan of putting a big building, I'm not saying a huge building, but I am not a fan of putting a building on the grass at Western Park. I mean, the land that the town of Parker has is limited as it is, and I don't think it's fair to,
I mean,
there are so many more vacant buildings in this town. Why are we gonna allow to put one when there's a million of them around town?
I wish there was
personally,
a million reasonable.
right,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say,
I mean, let's be fair, how many people are in your building? How much parking
lot.
do you actually need?
You need motorhomes. So the majority of who we get are motorhomes or pulling trailers with boats. We do get some trucks, but I would say it's probably a good split of big, long rigs. So some of them we look at absolutely, like one of them we were looking at, the neighbor already came out and was like all upset that we were even thinking about going there because his 2 parking spots would be taken. So that's the other issue. We had 2 questions on there. How many go? Oh, who's all in there? Economic Development rents an
One.
office from us. It is one. And then we have people who use our conference room quite often, so.
How many other buildings are in this town that they can use a conference room? The hospital has one. AWC can host like a conference room. I don't think that that's a fair, like a valid, you know, the Bass Club, okay, Johnny, go to your barbershop. Like,
So
you know what I mean?
But
Like,
the ultimate goal is more than just who's using it.
I
It's
understand.
what the chamber brings to
But
our
I just-
community.
Though there's a lot of resources everywhere that we could say they bring so much to the community. I will talk on behalf as the liaison and for town council. I'm totally against it on town council for multiple reasons. One being, I feel like we have done you guys rather have done so well on trying to build a Parks and Rec, doing amazing things for parks. And then right now with the city park, where that's headed, and then the next project was supposed to be Western Park, and just really building it up for the kids and getting the kids involved. If you go, I've talked to several people since this happened last Tuesday night at town council. And a lot of them are like, we didn't realize how much the park was actually used until this was brought up, and we've gone over there and sat and watched it be used. There's the Pop Warner practices are over there right now. The soccer games are over there right now. I just feel like because it's the chamber, oh, let's go build this building. We wouldn't do that for anybody else. My personal opinion, I am not
disagree.
in
I
favor.
think we would do it for other people if they had valid, reasons. I had something else to say, now I lost it.
So are we talking like specifically that spot or just like a spot in Western Park? Because like you said, there is that back.
Dirt lot back there too.
That there's nothing.
The only reason, like Daniel was saying, the only reason that's not ideal is because it's not right there in the smack dab of where
No,
everybody goes.
I disagree. Because you have the whole visibility of the park, and Eric and I have talked even, and I know I mentioned to Nora, even, which is not the park, but it's the lot behind Spanky's, even though it's behind, it still has the parking of the park and people can still stretch their legs. The reason why that one hasn't come front, and I mean, please forgive me if I'm wrong, but everyone is afraid that if you want to expand the baseball courts, like you guys have talked, where you've talked about doing 2 back-to-back or doing the soccer, that is that location.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Personally, I
But
mean,
thought we
maybe
were
I'm
doing the
talking,
soccer location over
you know,
here. With the
over
new-
what I should, but we're already planning on doing this field, these fields over here, so I don't see that
How much
happening over
space, if
there.
you're in the front, are we talking that you're taking? Because you guys are making it sound like she would take up the whole park. And I'm assuming she's only taking up a small section of the park.
So our current building is 2,300 square feet. We can go less than that. I'm not opposed to that at all. We do currently have an empty office. I will tell you, my goal for the last 2 years was to move the museum that is not open into the chamber. So if we go smaller, that will not happen, because that's already been her holdup, that we weren't big enough to move it over. But that's besides the point. I have reached out, so the modular, they are supposed to get me what the square footage would be that, one, they can even bring us. And then I'm not opposed to like doing a white chalk or something to show you how much it would be. Their question is, it would be more, do we want it long, like rectangle, more square, that kind of, so that's what they're checking on.
So I guess you guys, why she's coming to us is just because the chamber is a vital part of our community. And, not to just be, hey, this doesn't work for us. But, I mean, she did send us an email about what's available. And so maybe looking for some guidance as well, or some ideas that, hey, we don't want the chamber to disappear. They have helped us in a lot of ways. And so how can we come up with an idea or a space that works best?
I honestly don't think that back corner where there's the dirt lot, it's been that way forever. Like, there's not enough room to put another softball field or baseball field backed up against it.
It would
They're
be
just-
nice to be developed
It
back
would
there.
be nice to be developed, and if she's talking about doing like park benches and stuff, that would almost extend our park that we have now into areas that there isn't anything right now. And it would almost enclose off the whole block to make that the park area to do a walk trail or something like that. Because right now, people don't really go past the volleyball courts right there. So I agree. I don't really like the idea of taking up any of the grass that's already there, the park that's
Front,
already
yeah,
there.
Like up front.
Up front,
I think
but I
up front
also
is like a
think
hard.
that-
I personally, up front is a hard no for me.
But I think she's right. As you're driving by, you're still gonna see a building back there, and if there's a big sign that says Parker Chamber of Commerce right there in our park, a nice, it's gonna bring, not only will it bring chamber people to the park, but it'll also bring park people to the chamber. I think it would work good, and she has been dealing with, and a lot of people don't even know we have a museum. Does anybody even, it's not open. So if we got something big enough that we can incorporate the museum along with the chamber, the museum would bring people to the park, and the park would bring people to the museum. I think it would be good for everybody.
And then one of the other things I did not mention is originally I was looking at grants to purchase property, and there are grants out there. However, the main one that we could have gone for expired April 5th. So, and when I started looking, it was like March 23rd. So it was kind of close anyways, because that's when we got the notice. So that would be another.
Me personally,
there.
I don't like it in the front corner.
Yeah.
Not the front corner. I
I
personally, I
mean,
don't, the back.
Yeah.
That back
Or
undeveloped
even
area?
like behind Spanky's, like, because I truly don't see anything being developed right there.
Yeah.
as it is, so.
But I think it would add to the park itself if there was something there, you know, because not too many people drive, like I said, past, they see the volleyball courts and then that's it.
Yeah.
No, it's just dirt. It's a big dirt pound, like lot with a big thing of dirt, so.
Is that zoned for that back there? To build like a building like that back there? Yeah.
That we'll have to look and see what that looks like, because it is for public use.
Did you include on that list the building right next to Daniel's Jerky? Their new place?
Yeah, it's on there.
What was that
parking.
one?
2 million.
1.2 million?
1.3 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember it was expensive. I didn't know how.
And that one has absolutely no parking. That one,
Yeah, that's like smash
Is-
in the middle.
they would be stopping, if they park there, they would be stopping in the turning section.
So financially, the chamber could afford to build, but couldn't afford any of the current spaces available to lease. Is that a
Correct.
Fair statement.
The
Okay.
monthly payment is too much. And we've had a couple that would say we can fix, like there's one that needs a lot of repairs, but they're still asking the going rent price and then want us to do all the repairs. Like one of them's over $300,000 just in repairs and they want us to do that all and still paying the going rent rate. So
And, okay. And you need to be moved when?
I don't have a date because they said they would work with us. Truly, they only have to give us 90 days. Again, you know as well as I do, after the feasibility study comes back in 2 weeks or 2 months, they're not going to start the very next day. So they said they would work with us. So I don't have a hard date.
Possibly 5 months.
Yeah, but even if I'm building something, it's not going to be done in 5 months.
Right.
You know, the contractors around here and the time frame in getting supplies is going to be longer than that as well.
Anybody have any other suggestions, ideas?
I mean, one of the contractors, I did have a contractor go with me to look at different places. But I could tell you one's like, I'll go, but he's like, I don't even have an opening till September to even attempt to do something. So even then, like I said, we're always at their time frame and when they can get materials too.
So this action item, are we,
We're just doing a recommendation to even take it to council, because it's not gonna be up to us.
well, right, but
When council talked about it on Tuesday, there was a lot of mixed, you guys can go back and listen to the minutes of everything that happened at Tuesday's meeting. And at the end, Mayor Hartlish really was like, well, why don't we see, since it's a park, how Park and Recs even feels about that, is why it was put on the agenda for today.
And I agree with everybody as far as the front, but I don't think there would be a problem with the back.
I agree. Well,
I disagree.
Carissa's.
I'm the one that's for the front.
Well,
But-
yeah,
The only thing we just do have to consider is that it's a 501c3. And so would you allow any other 501c3 to go in any space?
I do want to correct, I'm actually a 6.
Just asking that question.
I just want to put on the
What?
record that we're a 501c6.
C6, okay.
Still a nonprofit, but not a 3. So that does automatically disqualify us for a lot of grants because we are not a 3.
Right, and so the only question I would say is that if, you know, Jack's Church down the street said, I want to put a building on the corner, and they brought it, would you allow that?
but I think too, you have to think about, is it something that goes with the community? Is it a church? No, probably not. If it's a, you know, if it was a Boys and Girls Club like Pace or something like that, probably we would consider it.
If it was
because,
a local gym that was a 501c3,
something that was gonna
no, it
bring-
wouldn't happen.
But something that would bring everything together to it for the community is kind of where I'm going with that.
Is the old pool house an option?
I mean, it's really up to,
That's too far off. We want,
mean, it is
you want
too
to be
far
closer
off,
to the
but-
main roads.
Just asking.
I'm kind of on option, I mean, if you count them, I think I'm on option
Don't want to be
U
way
now.
out here in the residential.
I know.
I know, I
So-
just don't think it's. I
Is
don't-
there a way
I don't
that you
like the
could get
front.
like a map of the park and then kind of draw and show
Yeah.
us how much
I
room
have
you
no
would take
problem
if you
doing
were
that.
in
I'm
the
just
front?
waiting for the modular to tell me what their square footage is.
I love you, okay.
I love you too.
But I still don't think that even with it being on the front corner, no matter how much
That's
room she's
fine.
gonna take,
We can
I
have a
just don't
difference of
like that.
opinion. But I
still
just would
love
like
you,
to
okay?
see like a picture of it.
I can still do that. I could do it for any location you guys show me.
Because
I was gonna
if,
say-
if you do it in the front, like you said, if we do it in the front, it's gonna, we're basically suggesting to make it fairly small, but if you do it in that
In the
back
back, she
area.
has more room to-
I'm okay with
and
the
it's-
back too,
and
but
it-
I'm
and
just
it's
not
deve-
opposed
and
to the
it's
front.
like a developed, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It could be like a little sign, Chambers of Commerce, where
Chamber and museum.
I
and,
would
you know,
love the museum over there. You don't even know how many years I've been working on this museum
know?
thing, so,
That's what
The
I'm saying.
museum across from you,
yes.
I didn't even know that was like
Yes,
a.
and they have so
Not
much
open,
stuff.
they have not been open for 2 years. When I first started the chamber, they would do appointment only. There was 4 volunteers, and you would have to call ahead of time. Now they're down to 2 volunteers. One is an 82-year-old guy, so they're not even open anymore. They don't even answer the phone, and she no longer has insurance, so people are not allowed to go in there anymore.
So what she's
So we
trying
would
to do-
love to move it over.
well, why don't you move over to them?
I actually, well, I
what I
tried,
was
but there's no
thinking. That's
parking
what I was
again as
thinking, no
well,
parking.
and then it's
Yeah,
not big enough where she would move her stuff for the visitor center. That's where we used to be, actually,
Oh, really?
when we were northern Yuma County. The chamber was over there.
Okay. All right, so
So
we need a motion to
So
either,
I will make a motion to approve the recommendation to town council regarding the possible lease of park space to Parker Regional Chamber of Commerce for a new building. That kind of leaves it open. I think we've all said we would not prefer the front, but more leaning towards the back property that's undeveloped. I know it's a long
So is that
motion.
your motion?
Yes, that's my motion. Well, because I don't want them to think, and I'll just pause on that, sorry, Amy, I know I'm in the middle of a motion, but I don't want them to think that we're recommending the front part, because we've all agreed that we don't, well, besides,
and myself.
yeah, and so we don't,
Yeah,
we don't want that front part, but the back part, if it's undeveloped, I don't have any problem with that.
There could be more built there.
Mhm. So I just want that to be clear on our recommendation, isn't the front part of the park. Our recommendation would be the back portion of the park that is undeveloped.
okay, is there a second?
I second what Kylene said.
Okay, all in favor?
I.
All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yeah, motion passes.
Very good. All right. Discussion action to approve or deny mission statement for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
Can we table this?
Current statement, there was one sent to me as an option, 2 actually. The first one read, to improve the quality of life for the citizens and visitors of Parker by providing outdoor recreational space for a variety of programs, leisure time activities, and community special events that enhance and enrich the physical, social, and emotional well-being of the community. Lots of words. Second one was the mission of the town of Parker Parks and Recs Committee is to offer activities that encourage park utilization and foster community engagement.
That sounds nice.
That was
That was Kaylee's.
That was
Yeah,
very
that
nice,
one's
Kaylee.
short and sweet.
Credit. I know there was other people looking at other Parks and Recs committees throughout the state for options, and a lot of them do have a lot of words.
Yeah. Well, if we wanted to put
One-liners.
Well, they had a mission statement.
We used this form last year when we revamped the town's mission statement, and that's, just one sentence.
Right.
That's it, straight to the point. Part of this too, part of the mission statement, it would be nice for the board to have some sort of something to put on the back of shirts. And,
Shirts that we've never gotten.
Shorter
like
the
that.
better.
Yes, there are shirts that have been made in the past, and the whole back is like,
Constitution.
yeah. And sorry, Steve, they're just not attractive. So, maybe coming up with a little tagline, something that you guys can put on your marketing materials, things like that.
So a tagline to go with our mission statement. Gotcha.
So read the second one
The
again?
second one
Daniel?
says, the mission of the Town of Parker Parks and Recreation Committee is to offer activities that encourage park utilization and foster community engagement, sorry.
I think it sounds great.
I think it's fun. I think I like that one.
To our cemetery.
Visits to our cemetery.
I know. Well, the first one said quality.
Then
of life.
parks.
Community engagement,
kidding.
Yeah.
So, anybody have any suggestions? Anybody come up with anything else?
Anything better?
Any words you want to add or take away? Okay, anybody have a suggestion of a tagline?
Is that not short enough to be both?
I think a tagline's like
I don't know.
Parks and Rec Committee.
Let's go.
Yeah, like
Oh,
what's a
you
like
know,
what's
Like Nike, just do it?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, like a slogan. I don't know.
I think you can.
Build
So-
it and they will come.
So, I mean, this is just for the mission statement, so we can always develop the tagline later.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah.
save time and make sure that we're,
But I am working on, Susan, coming up with a cute front logo for our shirts with the Parks and Rec
Logo.
mission statement and Parker in the back. So I can, if we vote on this, I can get that to her too, to incorporate that in.
yeah, if she can always just incorporate, I think, the town logo, I think
Yeah,
that would
the
just be.
town logo I want, I feel like on the back and
Okay.
our, maybe our mission statement on top. If it's only a sentence, it wouldn't
Go like around, like.
take up the whole.
That's gonna be a lot of stuff to print on a shirt. It's a fantastic mission statement. It's just gonna be a lot to print on a shirt.
Yeah.
Like maybe something like, family fun, and, that's what I'm thinking. is,
Family
yeah,
fun and
something-
community.
Yeah. Something like that.
Park it or let's. Okay, so I make a motion to.
Parks and Recreation, empowering people.
That ChatGPT didn't work.
I make a motion to approve the second mission statement that Daniel presented to the board.
Is there a
I
second?
second that.
Okay, all in favor of that mission statement?
Aye.
Aye.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm sure of that.
Okay, so
So maybe we can just put it on the
your-
next agenda for our tagline.
Recreation, you'll love it.
And we'll,
put on your thinking hats, come up with some taglines or something that we can add and use for marketing material.
Parks and Recreation at its finest. Perfection at its finest.
See, we are perfection.
If you had a chance, if you can look at the March 12th minutes. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns with the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes from March 12th, 2024.
I second. I did read them beforehand.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
One correction I'd like to make, I did not call Corey Madanowski's name during roll call today, so we will mark him as absent.
Absent. Perfect, okay. Does anybody have anything else? I'll adjourn the meeting at 5:23.
Thank you, Daniel.
I did say no because you were okay with it being in the back. You just wanted it in the front more.
I just wanted it for more, yes. I think it
Now
looked
they're gonna
better in the
think that-
front.
Now they're gonna think that you don't want it at all in the back.
But still,